Welcome to the second video in my series called the CAGED system and the 5-position method. We're going to dive deep into the 5 CAGED shapes and explore their significance in helping you become a better guitarist. Not only are these shapes essential for playing chords and their positions essential for playing scales, but they also have a historical context that adds to their importance. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to play all 5 shapes that make up the CAGED system. This fundamental knowledge will not only help you explore the guitar further, but also provide you a fresh perspective on how to approach learning the instrument. Let's get into it. Okay, so now that we got the guitar in our hand, we're ready to play, right? So let's get into it and let's play the CAGED system today. First up, we got the C shape. So the C shape is called that because it's based off of a shape that creates the C major chord in the open position down here. So the best way to construct this particular chord is we're going to put our first finger on the first fret here, or what you can think of as the first box, on the second string, and we're going to count from the bottom. So we're going to go 1 here, that makes this one the second string right here. So we're going to put our first finger on the first fret of the second string. Once you have that note, you can actually just strum the bottom 3 strings and boom, a small C triad. But we're gonna extend it, we're gonna build it out. So what we're gonna do next is put my middle finger, or our second finger, on the 4th string, 1, 2, 3, 4, this one here, on the 2nd fret. And then we're gonna extend it some more, and so we're gonna take our 3rd finger and we're gonna put it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And that's the full C shape. The next shape we're going to play is the A shape. We're going to do A major and then we're going to do A minor. A is a classic shape for bar chords. We use it all the time to slide up the fretboard. It turns into some really great, beautiful chords that you might not be able to get without using an A shape. And the A shape is really easy. All we're going to do is take 3 fingers. It could be your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd finger, or it can be your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger, and we're going to put them on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, all in the 2nd fret. So it'll look like this if you don't use the pinky, and if you're like me, you might swap it around and you might use these 3 instead. And it would look like this when you exclude the index finger. Now to turn this into A minor, what we're going to do is we're going to actually leave our top 2 fingers on the 3rd and 4th string, whichever 2 fingers you happen to have them be, doesn't matter. And you're going to put a finger now on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And this is different because last time we had our finger on the 2nd fret. Now we're going to put a finger down on the 1st fret. And that's A minor. The next shape we're going to play is the G shape. The G shape is one of the most common shapes in the world. I think it's a really versatile shape actually, because you can get some full-blown big shapes like this, but you can also get some triads and some interesting chords on the low side and on the high side. So it's a really versatile shape. The G shape usually gets played like this, and we're going to play it with our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. We're going to start here. And then we're going to whip our other fingers all the way over here so that my 2nd finger is on the 6th string of the 3rd fret, and my 1st finger is on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Now what you can also do with this shape is you can move some fingers around to include the pinky and the 4th finger. So what we can do is we can take our 3rd finger and move it to the 2nd string, and then we can put our pinky right underneath on the 1st string where the 3rd finger used to be. And that's an also acceptable version of G. Now we're going to get into the E shapes. We're going to talk about E major, and then we're going to talk about E minor. Just like the A shapes from before, the E shapes are incredibly versatile shapes and phenomenal shapes to learn on the guitar. They slide you all across the board. And what they also do is they allow you to learn the very first bar chord that most guitar players learn, which happens to be F. but you have to get an E shape first, and that's what we're here to talk about. So the E shape is created like this. If you remember the A minor shape, it looks exactly like that. So the way we're going to achieve this is by starting with my second finger on the 5th string of the 2nd fret. And then we're going to put my 3rd finger directly below that on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then we're going to put my 1st finger right behind it on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And we can strum all of the strings with this one. And we get this huge E. It's a beautiful, beautiful E shape. If we want to turn this into E minor, we have a few options. At this point, we can actually just take off our 1st finger and boom, E minor. Now you can play these 2 frets with any fingers. It could be these 2, fingers 1 and 2. It could be 2 and 3. It could also be 3 and 4. And that is the E shape. The last shape we have is the D shape. Now the D shape is kind of cool because on its own, it's just a 2nd inversion 3-string triad, which if you don't know what that is, that's totally okay. But it's a really cool shape because it allows for a lot of variations without a lot of finger movement. And it also allows you to play minor variations as well. So it's a very versatile shape to play on those high first 3 strings. Here's how you play it. You're going to take your 2nd finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Then what we're going to do is put our 1st finger way over here on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So there's a gap in between these. And that's where our 3rd finger is going to go. Our 3rd finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of that 2nd string. And we're going to strum just the first 4 strings. We're actually going to try to exclude some of those low strings. They don't really give us a true D major chord at this point. If we include them, they give us some inversions and some interesting things, but it's not what we're looking for today. And that's the D chord. Now if we want to turn this into D minor, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move some fingers around. So we're going to lift off our 1st finger, put our 2nd finger where our 1st finger used to be, and put our 1st finger down on the 1st string of the 1st fret. By mastering these 5 shapes of the CAGED system, you'll be equipped with a solid foundation for learning how to play and create music on the guitar. The historic significance of the CAGED system lies in its methodical approach to learning how to actually play the instrument. With this system, we're able to craft every single building block that we need to create music on the guitar. Each of the 5 positions gets its own shape and its own position, and each one fits perfectly into another. It opens up a world of possibilities and provides a systematical roadmap for learning to navigate the fretboard. Thanks for watching the 2nd video in my series. I hope you really like it. In the next video, we're going to dive into some really deep harmonic applications of the CAGED system. How you can play different chord progressions in all different places and all different keys. There's so many things to reveal with this system. Remember, learning the CAGED system isn't just about learning a few shapes. It's about understanding the whole concept and allowing you to kind of unlock your abilities as a guitar player. Thanks for checking this out. I really appreciate you, and the fact that you're learning about music and diving into it is just amazing. Music is so beautiful, and I'm really proud of you. Have a great day.